Welcome to Trading Lounge and the gold silver report for the 7th of April. I want to go over what we talked about yesterday for a moment and then see how we're tracking with that situation. So we were looking at a possibility of having wave 3 here and wave 4 over here, and originally we're having wave 5 to come over here, but the problem is that we could look at this as the third wave coming down here, but we didn't get our fourth and fifth wave to come down here for this. Okay, so it's kind of left this here in sort of a 3-wave move here. So it's possible to look at this in a few ways. So we need to understand this, and then we can come up with a solution, because if the market's going to push up, then we need to be on that. So it's possible, first up, to put wave 4 over here and have wave 5 sitting here. Now, in a lot of cases, we've seen markets like GDX push up here, perhaps in a reasonable 5-wave move, and then having a correction here. So if I could just bring up that on another charting program for a minute. So not too concerned about the large account here, but from the low here, we can see that over the days, the GDX here this is a daily chart for GDX, pushing up here as a possible wave 1 and back for wave 2 here for this. So that means that if that's going to be the case, then we're going to see this little move up through here come in and then pull back at that point. So that means that with GDX, once we've finished these little 5-wave structure through here, then we can go long above this one here, and that would relate back to a lot of stocks as well, like Newcrest Mining, for example. It is looking positive for gold. I have to say that when I look at the ETFs here. So the other market, of course, for this is GDL, which is 4 times bigger than GDX. It has the same thing as gold here, really. I mean, we could still look at this as wave 1 here and back for wave 2 here, but what sort of haunts me is that from the top here, we can count basically 3 waves down here. That's really the gist of it all here. So it's still possible that we have this as an A wave, a B wave, and a C wave up here, and then come down from that point. So it kind of just looks like we've had this strong third wave down here as 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 here, and A, B, C, 4, and still to come. So it looks like it wants to come down further, but at the same time, we don't want to be caught out, thinking that we're bearish and the market's going to be bullish. So we need to know exactly at what point in time and price that we can go long, So that's what we're trying to sort out here. So if for a moment, let's just say that, as I was talking about GDL there for a moment, we could look at this as an A wave here, a B wave here, and a C wave here for wave 4, and then we would come down for wave 5 here. So for that to be possible, this move up through here, the wave C, that would need to be in 5 waves as such. So I'll just draw that out here, and then that would come to, in terms of price, around the 1750. So that would be the level that would be looking at that point. So in a nutshell, once these 5 waves here are completed, it could be wave C, and we could move down further into wave 5 here. That's a real possibility. However, if we're going to be bullish, once we've got these 5 waves in and we understand those, once we've got them in and the market moves, say pulls back here and then pushes up, well, then we can go long here, and of course we can go long on this high here as well, and then we would need to look at this here as possible wave 1 up here and wave 2 pulling back here and then moving up at that point. So it's a little bit of a tricky situation, but the point being is that over time it will reveal itself, and then we'll be able to move in. on the long side with confidence. The other thing that we talked about yesterday as well is if this market just kept on climbing through here, because markets tend to do that at times. So in that instance, to cover ourselves on that, and we're going to have a look at this trend here in a little bit more detail as well here. So in that instance, we would be looking for a classic trading levels pattern sitting on the 750 here, because we know as a wave 4 here, the 38.2% retracement level comes in around here somewhere. So any move sitting on support here on the 1750, the midpoint, as a classic trading levels pattern here, well, then we would also looking to be long here as well on top of that second high, or even this high here. So that's kind of it in a nutshell. So understanding this little move up here is important. So we'll just go into the hourly chart and look at that. Now there's probably different ways to count this, but I need to, because this is important, I need to validate each structure. So from the low here, we can look at this as 1 and 2 here, and then nice strong third wave here and fourth wave, and then this move here is really extending out here. So commodities can do that. So in that case, we'll look at it as wave 1 and 2 here, and 3 here and 4 here. And then we would have to look at this as somehow wave 1 and 2 in here somewhere. And then look at all of this as, we can look at this as 1 and 2. I suppose really that's, if we're going to look at that as 1 and 2 here, then we need to look at that as 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 here. So it's still going to leave us the first high above the level here for this. So we're just going to see a dance across. This has got further to go up by the looks of it. But what we're looking for here, no matter where that high is here, what we're looking for is some type of correction that's going to play out across the 750, and then we can go long above that point. Now, it may pull back a lot further here, because when we think about it, the 50-60% retracement level, I'm assuming a top in here somewhere, is way down yonder here. Now, it doesn't have to pull back 50-60%. It may only pull back to the wave 4 of 1 lesser degree, in this consolidation area through here, which is probably more likely if it's going to be bullish. Okay. The other thing here that I also want to talk about in terms of this moving up here is the US dollar, or the basket, the DXY. Let me just find. Now I need to go back a little bit here. Just bear with me for a second. Let's go back to the 4-hour chart. Now, there is a bit of a problem here, because I was counting 5 waves down from this last low here, and the wave 4 that I was looking at here has overlapped wave 1 here, so there's a problem with that. So there is a problem with this last leg here for this, but at the same time, I was still looking for the whole move up here to be corrective. So I have pulled it apart. We know that there is 5 waves in this first leg here, and then we can look at this as a B wave triangle, and then another 5 waves up here. What I'm trying to say here is we don't have 5 waves here. We have 3 waves here. So that tells me that whatever happens after this here, whatever happens, it's still part of the corrective pattern. So we labeled this wave A and B and C here for the A wave, and then an A, B, C back here for this B wave over here. And then we were counting 5 waves up. We're looking for 5 waves up. So we know we had wave 1 and 2, and then we had wave 3, and then we had wave 4 here, and then we were looking for wave 5 to move up. So wave 5 has got 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5. So it's, even though I've put it there as a wave 4, which I know is incorrect, but it still doesn't matter. It still matters that we've got an A and a B and a C correction here. We might need to take it up one more leg. But if that's the case, then we're going to see this market in its own time and space move down and make a new low below this low here, because this first move here is corrective and not impulsive. So this is, as soon as this well, as soon as we had this low in place, I knew that we were looking for a corrective pattern, and we got the first leg. So I felt that I was on the right track, and it kept on, and then I thought it may just come straight back down from this point. It didn't. It gave us a 3-wave structure, so I knew straight away that we need to label it an A and a B and look for 5 waves up. The 5 waves up has taken the market much higher than I anticipated, but all in all, we have our A, B, and C correction here. Now, what could happen here, because it's gone so high over here, and I need to look at what's gone on over the left over here a little bit more, it might be possible that this correction just gets even bigger again as well. So in that case, still being a corrective pattern, but putting this on here, and looking for a 50-60% retracement level in this space here. So it may be the case that we just come down to this level, and well, I'll put that down here, and we may just come down to this level in 3 waves. Well, it doesn't matter, just down to this level here, and then have another move up here, but still being corrective in this space, and then coming down again from that point. That's possible as well. I will try to figure that out by understanding this over here a little bit better, but I'm still putting forward the case that this move here is corrective, making the rest of this corrective, and we were looking for the 5 waves up. So if this is correct and we are moving down here, it's only going to put gold in a better position now, isn't it? And the yields, the 10-year yields, so I'll have a look at that next time, because they're becoming a bit softer at the top there as well. But still with the yields at, 1.65, that, the yields have been coming down for years and years and years. So to jump up a little bit, it's really no big deal at all. If you were a bond trader, you wouldn't think much of it, or credit default swaps or something, even a bit higher up in the food chain. You wouldn't even, if you'd been there for years, you wouldn't really consider it a big move when yields are at 15% or something. So yeah, but still, anyways, coming back to this, I just wanted to point out that this ABC correction now can be finished. I may have it labeled wrong as a wave 4, but it's still a corrective pattern, and it should should continue downwards, and that's going to give gold a good case for moving up at this point, because they've turned pretty much at the same time. So yeah, that's really it in a way. So we can go back and have a look at a few things here. So on the daily chart here, it's still possible to look at this in terms of wave B here, and wave 1 here and 2 here, and 1 and 2 and 3 and ABC for 4 here, and down for 5. But like I said, we can get rid of this count if we get a nice support on the 1750. That would change it at that point. This was another count. If we lined the count up, it's not so silly, this particular count, because this would be lining it up with GDX, and we could probably bring GDL in there, but it's really testing these lows here on that. So it's probably not the case, but I like to think about different things. I like to think outside the box as much as possible. This is the other count that we've got here for a low in place, which would make this wave 1 just coming up here, and then wave 2 coming into play here. And as I mentioned before, this is where we're going to catch it somewhere across this 1750 here. If that's going to be the case, we'll be looking to be long above those highs there, but we need that high to come into place first with this. It's as simple as that. So they're kind of all the moves, not all the moves, but yeah. So what we're trying to do is just really be, to be sure, so to speak, and we're just waiting for this this impulse wave up here to complete, just in case it's a wave 4 sitting over here and we get trapped and we move down again. Let's take a look at silver. So with silver here, I'll just be looking at the positive count because we're considering the markets being positive. So in that case, what I'm looking at is silver here. This is a, well, wave 1 here, an A wave, a B wave, and a C wave here for wave 2. And then we're also looking at this being wave 1 to the upside here, and then pulling back for wave 2, and then moving up for wave 3. So if we have a look at, well, let's just scroll this back up here. My count is wave 3 over here with wave 4 sitting here, and then looking at wave 1 over here for this, and then an A and a B and a C back for wave 2. If we look at some ETFs here, this is Sprott, physical silver trustee. So in this case here, we can see that, you know, in all of these, that spike from the you know, from the WSB chaps, we can see here that with this move up through here, we could count this as 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 here and 5, and I just kind of ignore that here and just follow the rest of this up through here, and then look at this as an A and a B and a C back, and it's pulled right back onto the 61.8% here, as most of them have as such. So this is First Majestic Silver here as well. It's the same thing here again. You know, if I was counting this up here, I'd look at that as a 3rd wave and a 4th wave and a 5th wave here. You know, so yeah, I wouldn't take this as the end of that particular trend. I would take that as the end of the trend. So I'm more interested in this pullback here for this, because it's just missing a heartbeat, that's all, with all of this. So that's the reason that I'm you know, and I've mentioned this many times before, and I've copped flack for it, and I understand that, but I'm here to make money, and you know, I've been around long enough to seen these things before. So anyway, what we're looking for here at the moment is we're just looking, if I just drill in here to the hourly chart here for a moment, from this low here, we're just looking at, you know, do we have 5 waves up here? Because once we get 5 waves here, then we can look for our pullback here, and we've got our classic trading levels pattern that's developing, so the arrival, the reaction here, and then we're looking for the first high above the level. So we won't know until we've got the first high above the level until it falls back here, because this trend up here needs to be corrected. It needs to rebalance, you know, and once that's the case, then we can bring in our little A, B and C here for this, and then we can also look to go long at this point here as well. So we want that first high above the level in that case. So we know gold's got a little bit more to go up, and silver can be the same as well, but we'll go to the 100 ticks to check on that. Okay, so just carrying on from yesterday, I'll just count from the bottom. This is 100 ticks. So 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5 here for wave 1 in here, and then we've got wave 3 to the upside here, where this blue wave 3 is here. An ABC for wave 4 here. And then I was looking up for wave 5. So I'm thinking that we've got 5 waves here for wave 1 and 2 here, wave 2 being nice and sharp in that case. And wave 3 here, I haven't really pulled this apart here, but that would have to be 1 and 2 in here. And this would have to be, maybe that's 1 and 2 in here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here. Yeah, I'm just not sure. I've got to spend a bit of time with that. Sorry, I should have done that, but not to worry. It doesn't really matter. I mean, that could be here, that could be here, and we still need one more high here, or we need one more high here for the third 4th. I think we probably need to lay that in there. Let me just double check this quickly. Yeah, we'll just leave that there. So we're still looking for another high here. So I haven't got my head around this bit here, okay? So I don't really know, but it doesn't really matter in a way where this market goes for us. I mean, it matters for people that have got money in it. I understand that, but I haven't made a move on this yet, so I'm not concerned about that too much. But it's possible for another move up here, but that doesn't really matter. We're looking for this ABC pattern across the $25 mark. That's what we're looking for. I'll have to lift this up a level as well with this labeling, but still the same labeling, an ABC for wave 2. Just probably be a green wave 2 rather, but not that it matters at this point. It's just the counting that's important. So, you know, we've got this trend, we've got the middle of the trend, the beginning of the trend, and then we're looking at the end of the trend here one way or another. It may even just fall from here. Maybe I've made another mistake, but we've got the arrival, we've got the reaction, and we've got getting the first high above the level. And then we'll have our ABC pattern. So then we'll be looking to move in on the wave B high here. It's pretty much that simple, guys and girls. So I'll just leave it at that. So tomorrow we should be in this place here somewhere. So we'll be looking for our setup in all of this, and once I understand this, then I'll move into I'll buy some Newcrest mining. I know there's probably faster gold stocks out there, but I'll just stay with that one for the time being. And the reason for that, it's just had such a big trend. If I can just bring it up here for a moment. It's an Australian stock, second biggest gold mining stock. So the reason I like it for is because it's had this really large correction, this A, B and C correction here. So what I was going to do here is, that's the medium level that it's sitting on. So I was going to use the 25 here. So also looking for the first high above the level in a way, and it's possible, a bit like GDX. You can work 5 waves into this, not really a problem. And but yeah, we'll see a bit of a high here, and then we'll see it retest this. So once it retests that, and I've got my first high above the level here, then I'll look to get in here. So we're looking for something like this here for this. I want to see a reasonable sort of pullback. If I, otherwise I'll have to capture it further up, I guess, if I miss it. But it's not like a stock that takes off pretty quickly. It's still in the building process. It's still confused. So yeah, I'll look to move in across here somewhere for this. But this still also bothers me as well. I have to say it bothers me as well because, as an A wave, a B wave and a C wave here, it should really come down and touch the low here. So I'm still wondering, a little bit of a, vibration here and one more drop for this. So I might have to, I could squeeze 5 waves out of it to this point, but it just doesn't quite feel right. But I'm going to take the trade setup and then I'm going to manage my exposure on that. That's what I'm going to do. Alrighty, thanks for tuning in. I'll keep you updated with this as well. Cheers.